And then you go upstairs. This is by the laundry hamper. Something happened, I tell my mother. I am 5. The boy across the street, he did something that hurt. He stood above me, saying, "Bad, bad, you are bad. If you tell, they won't believe you. They won't want you anymore." I ran away, but he trapped me in a room off the garage. He hurt me harder. "Here," I say. "Something happened, bad. I can't go back there." My mother sorts dirty clothes. She does not touch me. "You know that's not true," she says. "These are our neighbors. These are our friends. Nothing happened." This is a poem in my parents' room with a song in his heart. Daddy called the Walkman his play critic, and he loved it like he loved the radio that sang him to sleep. Mother listens to talk shows. They had pillow speakers. He loved the radio like he loved the hi-fi, with Mario Lanza's heart breaking in his voice. Or the Beatles looping Let It Be on the 8-track, like he loved my brother, always at the spinet and later the grand piano, striking heart sparks from Rachmaninoff, or Rock of Ages, or giving us cascading autumn leaves. The way he loved to drive around, just him and me, Sunday afternoons singing Barbara Allen. In that scarlet town where I was born, music was our dwelling. Oh, Daddy, I am leaning on those everlasting arms. The very last section of the book is just called All of It. And it deals with the last part of my mother's life and then taking the house apart. So I'll just read the closing poem. Thanksgiving night. After I'd locked the house for the last time, I kissed the door. Now, remembering, I feel my lips on my breastbone. How many of you all have ever had to clear out a house? So you know, you can't do it right. That's rule number 1. And when you look back, you can't believe. So this is called I Can't Believe. And it's got blanks in there, and you'll know what they're for. I can't believe that I gave away, that I left, that I kept. I can't believe nobody wanted, or fought over, or asked about. All that he collected, that she polished, that framed their life. I can't believe the boxes I carried in and taped together and filled and carried out. Clothes, dishes, books, figurines, coins, clocks, other people's Bibles, every item in every drawer or cupboard or bookcase, on every shelf, in every closet, went through my hands, bent on taking apart what my parents put together, their home inside the house Papa built. And then this is the last poem in the book. Welcome. Late afternoon, I lie down for a nap, but instead of sleep, Daddy opens the door behind my eyes. He's in his shirt sleeves, standing on the carpet, before the flood. He reaches me into a hug, snug as bark. I didn't think you were here, I say. Yep, he answers, it's me. But Daddy, I start, it's all gone. Nonsense. How can the house be gone when we're standing in it? What time is it? I ask. And he laughs. No time. No time at all. And I want to close with two poems from She Let Herself Go. And until I looked at reading this poem after reading poems from Minnie Furry House, I hadn't thought how this poem is full of houses too. When I came before and the common reading was Catalpa, there's a series of poems for Virginia Woolf in that book, and there's some Woolf poems in here too, because we're still friends, so she doesn't know. Or maybe she does. To Virginia, if you knew I sat at your feet, I think you do know. If you'd seen me retrace your steps, Hyde Park Gate, where you were born, Gordon Square, birthplace of Bloomsbury, Asham, now a cement works, Monk's house, last home. Perhaps you did see. If you'd watched your words light my darkness like the Milky Way, if you'd felt me poring over, leaning into your diary and to the lighthouse and Jacob's room, boarding an airplane to cross the Atlantic, catching a train from Paddington to St. Ives, to stay in the nursery at Palland House, sacred site of your childhood summers, before your mother's death slammed that gate. If you'd heard me reading aloud your words in the room where you drew your baby breaths and blew bubbles of words, where you were translated by time into a fierce, dreamy, always ink-stained girl, would you say, do you say, welcome, daughter? And the last poem I want to read is the title poem for this book. And when the book was when it was in the design process, they contacted me and said, the lines of this poem are too long, and so can we break the line somewhere else? And I said, no. And so then the designer said, well, we could print it sideways. And I said, that's perfect, because then you can't get out of the book the same way you got into it. So it's like this. And I think that was meant to be all along. So this is in 4 parts. And this came because, you know how you'll hear a phrase that you've heard all your life and suddenly you hear it differently? I heard somebody say about someone, she's really let herself go. And I thought, all of a sudden I thought, what if you really did let yourself go? You know, and to what extent does our preoccupation with not letting ourselves go keep us from letting ourselves go? So anyway, 1, she let herself go, soft, fat, sexual. She let herself go to the library, to college, to extremes. She let herself go wild and gray and all the way. She let herself go deep, go alone, go sane. She let herself in. She let herself in for it. She put down her mask. She held out her arms. She let herself go. 2. She let herself go far, go ahead, go overboard, without saying, without apology, without. She undid her bra, peeled off her hose, let herself breathe. She let herself fill up with air no matter who was threatened by the swell of her belly. She let herself go around with her own face. No foundation, concealer, minimizer. She let herself be. She left dishes in the sink. Dust furring Great Aunt Sudie's break front. Seeing her neighbor's manicured lawn, she thought, don't they have anything to read? 3. She let herself have her limits, her bad points, her life. She discovered she was somebody, not just anybody, not an object of fashion fantasy failure, but a woman, not a doll cellophane worshipped flung to the back of the closet, purchased to be perfect, forgotten under the bed. And she let herself change. Things besides diapers. What's in the refrigerator? The state of the floor. She changed. She made change. She thought of herself for a change. She let herself flow. And there were stains and cramps and shit and shouting in driveways and walking out. Fear grinding the guts, tears tearing down the freeway, the free way. 4. Letting herself go and come, she came to the end of her rope and hung on, though she'd learned to let go, till her numb hand sprung and she fell backward, turning over and almost inside out, landing in the pit of grief, the lap of light. Open mouth wailing, open arms welcoming, smashed by the rock, soothed by the rocking. She's through. She's through. Into the abyss, into bliss. A twist at the end of the road, a translation. Dark night become the radiant way she let herself go.